Hi there. I seem to have done rather a lot of videos over the past few days, or past week. But I have today a rather special visitor from the 19th century. And today's visitor is a 19th century F trumpet mouthpiece. It's probably British. There are some similar examples to this in the Musical Instrument Museum at Edinburgh University, which is world famous. These types of mouthpiece were made after the natural trumpet with crooks had gone out of use, and when people were moving to F trumpet. In the early days of the F trumpet, people used very large mouthpieces, maybe 17, 18, up to 19 millimeters in internal diameter. This one's a little bit smaller, so it must be from the later period, maybe late 19th century. But interesting things about it. If we start with the cup, it has an internal diameter, I measured this earlier, 15.4 millimeters, which is quite small for that period. It's even quite small by today's standards. The outside is 26.47. The rim itself is fairly flat. It has a defined inner edge, but it's not particularly sharp. The cup shape the bottom of the cup shape is very V-shaped, and it has a transition into the throat which is sharp but not totally sharp. It doesn't really have a second cup like a modern mouthpiece, it just kind of goes in there. The interesting part of this is the back bore. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. If you can't, I have another video I've taken in natural light which might show this up a bit better. And you can just see that. This is what is called a complex back bore. So it starts off from the throat end and it doesn't flare out very much at all for about half the length of the back bore. It's just very, very gentle outward slope. And then that stops and there's a very straight flare out to the end of the shank. The modern equivalent of this, I suppose, would be some of the very tight commercial back bores. And combining it with the V-shaped mouthpiece, it really is quite squirrely sounding. I don't have an F trumpet to try it on, but I'll try it on the B flat in a minute. To give you an idea of the length is 82.49 millimeters. That's a JK mouthpiece, which is, I suppose, is modern mouthpiece. So it's slightly shorter than a modern mouthpiece. And you can see the comparisons. Now the interesting thing about these mouthpieces is that there are a few people who have played on mouthpieces like this. Notably John Wallace, his signature mouthpiece for Yamaha is, I believe, based on a 19th century F trumpet mouthpiece, but it's one of the big ones with the sort of 17-18 millimeter cup diameter. And you can buy reproductions of this style of mouthpiece. So the end of the shank is actually very similar size to modern mouthpiece. I don't think it's been modified. Fractionally larger. I'm measuring it at just sort of 9.9 millimeters. And it's very thin edge. As you can see, it's a bit distorted. I have tried a mouthpiece truing tool on this, but it was going to crack it, so it'll have to be annealed. It's also, I don't think it's plated. It's hard to tell. There may be a faint remnant of some silver plating on there, but I wouldn't want to play on this to any great extent. So I'll let you hear what it sounds like. I'll just buzz on it to start with. Very tight back bore. I'll play something just a normal. This is the Horn Trader 3C, so it's quite a bright mouthpiece. Okay, that's modern mouthpiece. And now the F trumpet mouthpiece. I mean, that is... I haven't warmed up at all. And that's me playing up to a top G. It's a very tight mouthpiece, and it's the equivalent of a screamer. So the question is, should I have this plated and actually have a go at using it? I wouldn't want to use an unplated mouthpiece because it's going to do terrible things to my lips. But it's a very interesting mouthpiece. I suspect it'd be quite good on D trumpet or piccolo, with it being just that little bit shorter. But it's bucking all the trend, because the trend really is to have bigger throats and bigger backbores on the smaller trumpets. So it's certainly an interesting thing to have, and a bit of a talking point. So thanks for watching, and I will be back in due course. Who knows, might be another week, might be another day. Bye for now.